The first FMQ since Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, stood up down south in Downing Street to talk about tax and her plans at her budget on November the 26th. In there today, Russell Findlay, the Scottish Tory leader, brought that fact up with the First Minister and asked him whether or not he has plans to increase income tax paid by working Scots. Now, last week, curiously, John Swinney came out and said at a conference that he had no plans to increase income tax by the end of the Parliament, which is obviously when the election happens next May. However, today he seemed to completely U-turn on that promise and ditched it altogether.
Most workers in Scotland pay more than those in the rest of the UK who do the same job and earn the same amount. The SNP have increased taxes, driven away aspirational workers, damaged business confidence and held back Scotland's economy. People deserve a break. So will John Swinney give a cast-iron guarantee of no further tax rises, income, business and property in the Scottish budget?
Mr Findlay won't be surprised to hear me say that these questions will be answered in the budget when the Scottish Government sets out to Parliament the commitments that we are going to make.
John Swinney is spinning like a washing machine. Last month he accused me of misleading Parliament about what I said, and in doing so he misled Parliament. And he's at it again today. I'll say it once more. More Scottish workers pay more income tax than those in the rest of the UK. And John Swinney's answers today won't assure any Scottish worker, homeowner or business owner. He won't rule out increasing the tax on buying a home. He won't rule out raising taxes on businesses. And it seems that he's plotting yet another income tax raid on hard-working Scots.
He claims that changing circumstances could see tax goes up, although he didn't go quite so far as saying that he was considering tax rises. It opens a possibility, of course, for the UK government to hike income tax. There's been speculation of 2p from Downing Street later this month, and that the Scottish government might follow suit. So that would be yet another income tax hike for Scottish voters from the SNP since they introduced a new band under Humza Yousaf's leadership 2 years ago. It'll be fascinating to see where we go from this. It's interesting to hear some of the First Minister's aides around him also admit that he made a gaffe in speaking to journalists afterwards when he claimed that the SNP hadn't broken their manifesto pledge not to raise income tax. It's just factually not true. You'd expect a man who's made his career off the back of being on top of the finances to have known it. More from here in Holyrood next week, I'm sure.